Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Young rockets and the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land under the fray. You're not for the brand. Because we are the prey. Yes, we are the prey. We'll fight you in the name of the fray. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. Stand of the brave, the US of A. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land under the fray. In the home of the
Good evening, everybody. Well, that was a little loud, but hey, good evening, everybody. This is the Nunn of Stu and the Nunn. The Stu will be calling in here shortly, and we are live. It is 7 p.m., 7:04 to be exact, Central Time. I am broadcasting from the home studio in Central Texas, not far from Fort Hood, a little bit further away from Brooke Army Medical Center, and we are getting ready to talk to a great guest tonight. We got Curtis Riggs. He's trying to connect. He's having some issues, it sounds like, but he's trying to connect in here, and he is the current and new owner of millblogging.com. We're going to talk to him about the new Millblog conference that's coming up and influencers. He's got a great setup going there, so we look forward to that. But in the meantime, you got yours truly. We got a couple of things that we want to talk about. First, We are excited. We're excited because we are wearing Enlisted 9. And Enlisted 9 Fight Company is a great company. It's a veteran-owned company, active duty military-owned company. Command Sergeant Major Dan O'Brien and Sergeant First Class Colton Smith, as well as the lovely Mrs. Smith. They are the proprietors of said company, Enlisted 9 Fight Company. Great T-shirt company and fight company based out of the different locations that they're stationed at. And they've been helping not just young fighters come up, but they've been helping do great things within the veteran community. They're part of the Grunt Style family. They're partners there. And we're excited that they are a sponsor of the show, and we're proud to wear them because it makes me more American every time I turn it on. I got my Enlisted 9, I got Old Glory. It just makes everything better. But speaking of Old Glory, she was waving tall and loud today in the New York area as the General Assembly of the United Nations convened, and President Trump addressed the General Assembly. Now, usually Ambassador Nikki Haley, former governor of South Carolina, handles that, and it's in her very capable hands that she does it. I'm just a huge fan of hers. I think, one, that her intelligence level is ridiculously through the roof. Two, I think her eloquence and her class is exactly what this nation needs, is someone putting their best foot forward. And but today, the President of the United States got the opportunity to address the General Assembly. He did not disappoint. Whether you're a critic or whether you're a fan, he did not disappoint. He gave room for criticism, and he gave room for applause. I enjoyed the majority of it. Unfortunately, I got to let the President of the United States know William Shatner probably offers the best rendition of Rocket Man. Being a big Elton John fan, yeah, you heard it here first. Not ashamed to say it. I'm an Elton John fan. I think he's made some amazing music, and the song Rocket Man's always been a personal favorite. It's rung true in my heart, lyrically, for several different reasons. And, getting up there and saying the words Rocket Man, you got to be strong. You got to be strong to do it. And, William Shatner kind of owns that space. Trump kind of tried getting in it. Appreciate the effort, but unfortunately, Captain Kirk still reigns supreme in the Rocket Man area. Also going on in the world, tragedy strikes. Mexico City suffering its second earthquake. Mexico in general suffering its second earthquake in about a week and stuff like that. And super sad to hear the loss of life. It sounds like that death toll's rising, and hopefully we can figure that out in terms of help. And it just seems like naturally we're getting just beat up globally right now. Plus we had a storm go from Hurricane Maria go from Category 1 to 5 in a matter of hours. So with the plethora of hurricanes, multiple earthquakes, and hundreds of wildfires, North America is just getting it right now from old Mother Nature. But that's not going to deter us, as we saw in Houston and other locations. I want to make sure people understand that I personally have not forgotten Rockport, Port Aransas, the towns that are near and dear. My wife and I got married in Port Aransas. Some of our best friends lived there. The Womacs and my wife's family being from Victoria. We haven't forgot about those towns. Obviously, Houston's getting a lot of press because it's one of the largest cities in the United States. But the surrounding areas, all the way to Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange. Big shout out to our extended family in Orange with the Meadows. You know, hoping everyone there's good. We also just hope that you know, with all these things going on, that we don't lose sight of some of the other things that are going on globally. Um, London, you know, here we go. Another terrorist attack in London. You know, this is one of those moments where people, you know, they don't want to say "I told you so," but you know, one of the realities is that you know there's a reason why vetting needs to happen on some of these, you know, refugee situations. You know, I believe it's two, you know, terrorists captured as a result of this the most recent London attack. Both Syrian refugees. I want to make sure that I have that correctly. I'm doing a little Googling real fast to make sure that I don't misrepresent the truth there. Um, I like dealing in facts, and I don't like misreporting. So if I'm wrong there, please feel free to correct me. You can do that by hopping in our chat room. You can call in. The number is located on our screen. It's 512-361-1178. Where you know you can visit us at stewandthenunn.com or follow us on Twitter at stewandthenunn. So like feel free to use any of those ways to contact us. Correct me tonight if I'm inaccurate about that. But I really want to make sure that I report accurately because this is a sensitive subject. You know, you don't want to be the guy or the team or group of guys that are kind of getting into the subject of, you know, misinformation. There's so much misinformation. You know, there's so much on the Twitter, or as Boston Maggie says, the Twitter and Facebook. You know, even on the mainstream media. You know, obviously there's a lot of, you know, misinformation there, deliberate, you know, misinformation. It's hard to believe that one of the greatest, you know, counterintelligence campaigns that's ever been waged in our country is being waged by the mainstream media, and most recently, and it's being waged against the institution known as our government. Um, you know, and it doesn't, you know, that's not a conspiracy theory. You know, that's just the way it is. Um, you know, we had CNN, you know, making fun of Trump just a matter of months ago when he said that he was being wiretapped by the outgoing administration and by, you know, the existing intelligence community, and they were like, "No, you're crazy. That's not happening." And then today they're like, "Well, yeah. The reason we know all this information is because you were wiretapped." So, you know, it seems like everyone's complicit in this, but. Really excited to talk to Curtis Riggs tonight from millblogging.com. He's got the new Millblog conference started. It's happening in the very near future in the Dallas-Fort Worth region. We'll let him kind of share all the details on that. But for those of you that are longtime friends of the show, you know that we got our start and kind of came to be due to the relationships created at one of the very first mill blogging conferences. One of my favorite soldiers of all time, a guy by the name of Jean-Paul Borda, is the actual creator of millblogging.com and built the very first aggregate of mill blogs and really kind of fed the military blogging world and helped spread its knowledge. You know, guys like Colby Buzzell and in company, you know, they really Matt Burden of Black 5, you know, they really kind of help build audiences. But for some of the guys coming up, myself, Boo Hammer, you know, and other, you know, guys like and gals, Boston Maggie, I could name, you know, so many more. They wouldn't have got their opportunity or the well, they'd have got the opportunity. They wouldn't have got the exposure if it wasn't for millblogging.com. And then the mill blog world really exploded and became, you know, a staple within the blog and new world, new media expo. And from there, JP sold millblogging.com to military.com. And when we were deployed, I know he was still managing it for them, and I was always impressed by his ability to like serve our country at the level that he served and with the distinction that he served, and still like help support all those that were trying to tell a positive military story. And super impressed by him. And I believe Curtis Riggs is now the new owner and is purchased it from military.com and is doing new things with it. So we're really excited to hear about that. And the speaker lineup that he's got for his influencers. Influencers night and speakers are just ridiculous. You got Dan from Grunt Style, you got USA, speakers from USAA, you got, We Are the Mighty, I believe, are going to be there. So it's like, I'm really excited to hear about it. So hopefully soon we can get him tied in. In fact, we're going to listen to some music real fast, and I'm going to try and make that happen. All right, hold tight while we spin some tunes, and once we're done spinning the tunes, we will get that back on here. But one of the supporters that we want to support tonight is Mario Flores out of San Antonio, Texas, and this is his hit single, Beer Time, because it is. Curtis, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
All right. We are back on the air with Curtis Riggs. Welcome to the show. We're going to throw you right in there if that's all right, buddy.
Hey, man, we run with what we have, right?
Yeah, that's what we got to do. Well, I got your Twitter up there, at Curtis Riggs, and you are the new owner of millblogging.com. And since a lot of our a lot of our listening audience, our studio audience is like an audience of my dogs and kids right now. But our listening audience are familiar with the history of millblogging.com. Why don't you tell us what's been going on since you took over and what your plans and where we're headed and what we can look forward to with the new Millblogging conference?
So, brief history. I picked up the domain and social profiles from JP late last year. At the time, I was somewhat motivated to relaunch the Millblogging brand, but I figured that, hey, look, now that I have the audience, it's time for me to do something a little bit different. So we put a little twist on it. And what we're doing is creating the Military Influencer Conference, and the main idea is that we want to give a voice to those veterans, those entrepreneurs, and those other individuals that are really connected to the military community. And we're looking for a digital way to highlight the things that we're doing, to not only advocate for the different things going on in the military, but at the same time, highlight how, as entrepreneurs, we can collectively get better.
Man, I dig it. Like as the owner of Warrior Media Solutions, nothing makes me happier than knowing that we're taking positive, veteran stories and changing the national narrative. when you say you've put some influencers together, man, this list is impressive. I mean, grunt style. You know, we got a staff sergeant turned a T-shirt company into $100 million empire.
Yes.
You know, like, who else we got?
So, of course, Dan Alaric, he's the man on the scene doing a lot of different things for the community, highlighting himself and his brand. We have Emily Nunez-Cabinets, who's the owner of Sport and Plow. She was a former Army captain who one day decided that she was essentially going to launch a brand where she took and repurposed military products. You know, the things that we use that we take for granted. Parachutes, making designer bags out of them and selling them for a premium.
Wow.
So, we have a Shark Tank panel with the military spouse by the name of Cameron Cruz, who also has a bag company, but she's taking a different approach. So, typically when we think about manufacturing, we're thinking about one location, all of the parts, all of the people, all of the pieces, everything we need to put something together. She has a nice thing where she essentially has military spouses who create one piece of a product at a time, and then they send it to her where she manufactures and puts everything all together. We have Eli Crane from Bottle Breacher. You might have saw him on Shark Tank recently. And to wrap that session up, we have Matt Griffith from Combat Flip Flops. Those are the major players going to be at the conference, just more or less sharing the good news about how they managed to get where they are.
I mean, that's really like a Shark Tank alumni club right there, right?
You
got Flip Flops, you got Bottle Breacher. You know, great companies doing great things. I mean, Combat Flip Flops, what a story, right?
Yes, I mean, he continues the legacy. I mean, you talk about a guy that not only deployed multiple times doing great things for the country, but at the same time, he still has a mission to empower and to educate, you know, spouses that are over there, women that are over there uneducated. He's providing them with an opportunity to truly change their lifestyle and at the same time change the dynamic of, you know, that country and its hope.
Yeah, no, like, as a young boy, you know, not to age myself, you know.
Come on, do it, man.
Yeah, as a young boy, you know, I remember Princess Diana, you know, drawing attention to that region and, you know, saying what a need there was for UXO. And in my mind, I couldn't understand, you know, how there could still be UXO. And then joining the military and being in the Army in the mid-'90s and going to the Balkans and truly understanding what UXO meant and its levels. And then seeing how now these guys are still there decades later from the conflict, employing people locally,
yes,
and taking that UXO, turning it into a revenue stream of product. Sorry about that.
No, it's a dog, man.
My dog's excited about the material. But, you know, like, to see that now, you know, coming forward and just making jobs, putting money back in that community, and then giving people a cause-related product that when they put it on their feet or they put it on their wrist, they know that they've made a difference in the world. They've employed people. They've saved lives. You know, not many people can say that. You know, like when you buy a Starbucks, you can't be like, "Ooh, this is refreshing," and I just saved a life. You know?
But Starbucks does so much for the community.
That's true. Right? That's true.
Yeah,
I believe they have they've always had a veteran support program. They've had tuition assistance. I know they got in a bit of a spat, with Evan Hafer over there at Black Rifle Coffee about some of their hiring practices. But not to diminish what they've done and continue to do, but they're not a solely focused company.
No, I mean
Combat Flip Flops is solely focused on doing
exactly. They have a great mission. They do a lot for the community, but they're not us, man. They haven't walked in our shoes. They don't, in a lot of cases, share our experiences. But we appreciate everything that they're doing with their Hiring Veterans Initiative. And also employing military spouses. It's a great thing. We need more companies to step up in that fashion. But I kind of hate when other people overlook all of the great veteran-owned brands that are doing things, under their own power, with their own money, but they're still giving back to the community that we've all agreed to serve.
Oh, absolutely. This show is proud to be brought to you by Enlisted 9 Fight Company, which is part of the Grunt Style family. And, Colton and Dan, they're constantly, and Megan, they're constantly finding ways to, put money back into the veteran community in positive ways. And, that's just a little thing. But then you see, like, organizations, most recently getting, great press, obviously Team Rubicon in the South Texas area, as part of the Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma. Well, that's in Florida, but Hurricane Harvey here in Texas, Hurricane Irma in Florida, in their efforts in helping out there. It's just truly amazing to see organizations and companies and brands, kind of leverage their relationships within the veteran community and their veterans to really, like, show the nation that, hey, we're not victims, we're volunteers, and we bring a lot of value to the table.
I love it.
Which is why we're, like, super excited about this influencers, because so many people don't know about the value that is brought to the table by veterans and veteran-owned companies. And it's not a niche market. A lot of people think it's a niche market, but it's not. After World War II, we had the Greatest Generation. Those large companies that were built up by, veterans. After, you can go and even as short back as Vietnam. I believe you're in the San Antonio area. One of the biggest companies that helped build America, Caterpillar, its largest, dealership of Caterpillar in the nation, potentially the world, is Holt Caterpillar. Mr. Holt, two-time, Bronze Star and Purple Heart recipient, and owner of the San Antonio Spurs.
Wow.
Like the San Antonio Spurs, they're an organization that's done a little bit for the veteran community, I'd say. And I know you being in San Antonio have probably seen that quite a bit, both in their help for the Center for the Intrepid, but also in making sure that veterans have jobs and internships and get legs up. One of my best friends got his first real job as a coach for the San Antonio Spurs, and he was just a Marine sniper.
We got to love our community and all the great organizations that are giving back. You talk about, Hurricane Harvey, and you mentioned Team Rubicon and their great mission. Were you tracking what Grunt Style put together and actually did on the ground while they were over there for Houston, the Katy area specifically?
No, unfortunately, I was working in the Katy area. So my group and I, we're based here out of Georgetown. With Veteran Outdoors, we took about 15 guys and a bunch of boats down there, and we got to work in Katy. We started in Friendswood, and then we did Katy, and then we ended up our last day in Barker, Cyprus.
Man, you talk about a community coming together.
Yeah. No, so tell me about Grunt Style, man. I really would, love to hear what they did down there.
So, of course, I can only give the highlights. I follow Dan on social media, and essentially, one day he went on his page and basically said he had a mission. He was going to take a team over to Houston. He talked about what his organization was going to do for the people down in the Rockport footprint. Essentially, they were going to donate $18,000 worth of, 18,000 articles of clothing, but it just didn't stop there. He got in his truck one day and he proceeded to go on a mission. Him and a couple of other individuals went and they set up a fob literally on the east side of Houston, and he used social media to draw in over 200 people, boats, logistics, products, everything that we needed to essentially go out, deploy within the local community and footprint, and provide relief. Whether it was on-site rescues, whether it was providing or delivering food, considering who he is and the type of organization he runs. I mean, when I saw him do it, how do you have an excuse to sit on the bench? How can you have an excuse, if a guy like that can get off and he can go out and do great things, why can't the rest? So it was really inspiring. And at the same time, being on the ground for the little time that I was there, just being able to see all of the goodwill that veterans that, we in the community were able to give back to a community in need at the time.
No, like that was one of the things that really, warmed my heart, was just seeing people that identified they had the resource or the ability, and they didn't question, they just reacted. And man, it's heartwarming when you see that kind of stuff, because it reminds us this tribal that we have, that we forget. Like, we forget that we forget that we're supposed to smile and wave at our neighbor, and when they're running late, to bring their trash can in. Like, we forget those little common courtesies of when water fills your house, you help them get out. And it's, I got asked the other day, why did we go do what we did? And it's like, well, why did you not?
Good point.
If my house was filling up with water, I would hope someone would help me out if I needed it. Like, if your house is filling up with water, it's got nothing to do with politics. It's got nothing to do with, what brand you're wearing. It's got nothing to do with how you do your hair, or, how tight your jeans are. It's got to do with, the human condition and compassion, and just generosity, and the ability to, like, stretch out your hand and be human.
Yes, give back, man. Just give back.
So, tell us the dates and the times and the location of this influence. Tell us how we can get into it, like where tickets are available. Pass, I believe you have a whole online setup. Explain how we can listen and watch and do all that stuff.
Yeah, so the website is just like you said, noblogging.com/register. Now, guys, the moment you click on that link, you're going to see a price. But what I love about our community and the sponsors that have come on board is I have a limited number of free tickets. So if you have a listener that wants to be a part of something different, I'm trying to do two things. I'm trying to create portable work for veterans and also military spouses. And at the same time, it's an opportunity. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an opportunity to connect the community with content. So if we can give an entrepreneur a social purpose, and if we can team up with funds, so on your register, there's a time form at the bottom of the page. If somebody wants to recently, they're interested in attending, don't let the cost sway you from having to be a part of this great thing that we're putting together. So shoot me an email, get the contact form, explain who you are, why you be a part of the event. I got a way to have it for any and everybody. We have 20 seats left, so we're going to sell out, and it's going to be a fantastic event for all involved. It's October 22nd through the 24th. On the 22nd, we're having sort of a social at Honor, Courage, and Commitment. They're a Dallas-based nonprofit. Things kick off at 9 o'clock on the 23rd. That's a Monday. And things wrap up with the closing keynote on the 24th at 1500, 3 o'clock.
All right. No, that's awesome. Like as a former speaker of, like, the Midblog Conference back in the day, if it wasn't for being a speaker, I don't know if I could have afforded to go. And it's just to know that the space is being made for people to get in. Because let's keep it real. Like, when you have the opportunity to do this, and you say you're a small business owner, like, you're a steward to your fund, and so the fact that you're making money, email through the contact form at noblogging.com. Plead your case. It sounds like it's a pretty easy case to plead. And be part of it. Go meet some of these influencers. Improve your network. Learn how to support the organizations that you're running, that you're affiliated with. Take their value and add it to your value. Bring value in. I believe you got some good panels, right?
Yeah, fantastic panels, fantastic speakers. There's two other major components. So for us in the influencer space with an audience, we have a company called Crosby Marketing and a ton of others that's going to be there specifically to hire influencers. Now, it may not equate to a full-time job, but I mean, for us freelancers, us that pick up jobs on the side, I mean, it's an opportunity to find additional work. And we find work from finding new clients. So I'm all over.
Oh, wow. So what an impressive component that is. Thank you for sharing that. And so come prepared to impress, right?
Come to impress, know who you are, know your worth, able to demonstrate work ethic, and understand how the internet works, and there's opportunities available for you.
And this isn't like some some scan, like shipping things worldwide,
No,
right?
no. The stuff I mean, graphic designers.
All right.
You know, content creators, whether it's podcasters, whether it's bloggers, whether it's fashion blog, it doesn't matter who you are. If you have a community and you can articulate your message to reach that community, and it has military associated with it, or it's a part of our community, there's people there that would love to have you a part of their team.
That's what we'd like to hear. You know, back in the day, you know, it was, you know, the love of information, and now like the love to a little bit of sideline support, right? It's almost a side hustle.
It can be a lot more.
There are guys that have made it more, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still an active duty service member, and I'm getting ready to retire 20 years of service. And I don't see myself working for anybody else. So if there's an opportunity, it's there. And if you have the skill set, why not come? It's free. I can make it happen for a limited amount of people.
Man, 21 years, brother. That's great. Thank you for that. You want to tell us a little bit about what you've been able to do and accomplish in those 21 years?
I'm just a typical soldier. I've been promoted through the ranks. I'm prepping for retirement. I've been in the recruiting command for the last couple of years. I'm down here in San Antonio, putting great Americans into boots. And I don't like talking about myself because that's really not my thing. I've done my job that was put in front of me, and I believe in executing a mission. I've done that successfully. Now it's time to transition into something else.
That's what I'm talking about. It's a sad day that the force is losing someone with that mentality. But a great day for your family and a great day for you that you hit that milestone. That's impressive, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, got covered. So we're talking about October 22nd through 24th, right?
Yes, sir.
And we will be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, correct?
Yeah, down Dallas.
Specifically?
Yeah, specifically in Dallas. I was told that Dallas and Fort Worth were like two different countries, so I can't say them together, in the same sentence.
You are correct. There's two different football teams there, so you know they'll be on the wrong side. TCU or SM. But downtown Dallas, is it the convention center? Or?
So it's at the Dallas Sheraton. Like I said, we can make the logistics work. All I need is people with the skill set and an interest. If you care about what other people are saying about our community, or if you're a small business owner or entrepreneur looking to expand your skill set, just take a look at what we got going on.
All right. And the website, again, everybody, is www.millblogging.com. And you can find out more about the conference there. If you're interested in attending, you heard it, email the contact page and explain who you are and why you need to be there, and they will get you there. Curtis, man, I appreciate you taking time. We appreciate you taking time. Stu, unfortunately, has been tied up and hasn't been able to get on yet, but we appreciate you with links and additional information about the event. You got some really big sponsors you want to give shout-outs to. Go ahead.
So USA, of course, is our presenting sponsor. We have Lifeblood Media, which is our diamond sponsor. That's most fantastic. We have and also event at the platinum level. We're military, Hyden Coal, and also. So we have the support to make it happen, and it will be an annual event, and it's operated under the Military Influencer Conference. So sorry it started out a little rough, but hey, we pick up as we go.
Well, just in time, I believe Troy's hanging in. Troy, is that you?
It sure is. How did you read me?
Weak and sauced.
What's up, my friend?
Hey, Curtis, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, man, sitting out here on the river walk and was finally able to get connected. So, started out rocky and rough, but no, man, I appreciate the opportunity this year. What we put together, we have fun.
No problem. Awesome. Yeah, glad we were able to get you to join tonight. And, hold on a second. I got to turn off some sound myself. But, no, glad to get you to join on. I'm excited to hear about this phenomenal thing you've done. Put something together that in the years past, teams of people haven't been able to do. Thanks for being able to get on tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was just me and a mission, man. I learned a lot of lessons. I want partnerships and other organizations to come on board. But at the end of the day, man, it's needed for the community, and it's also needed for those of us who operate in digital space.
Just out of curiosity, like, how did you get into digital space? How did you get like the motivation and the inspiration? Like I know JP's story, which was fun to watch live and in person as he was one of my soldiers. But how did you like behind it because, like, I got into the digital space and blogging because JP told me I needed to stop giving speeches and start writing them down.
So I'm gonna be the first to tell you, man. I'm not a blogger. My writing sucks. I write like an 8th grader. I got a son that writes better than I do, but I've always had a mindset for business. I went through a nasty divorce. She took everything. My credit score fell to like a 420. I wanted to do something different, and I turned to the internet to do it. I learned how to fix my credit, and I turned around and thought, hey, look, this is cool. I can sell other people on this idea or concept. So I started it. I quickly learned that I didn't want to work with anybody else. Clients suck. In my professional opinion, having clients are extremely difficult to please, and I stepped away from it. And from that, I got exposed to the mill blogging community. I want to say in 2011 in San Antonio. And very completely open eyes. I started websites. Yeah. I learned highlights. So most people build them from the ground up. I buy them literally like somebody would buy real estate or property. So I buy websites, I build them up, and I turn around and I sell them for profit. And, I own several different major military-themed brands. And all we do is I hire an editor who oversees the flow of the website. I have a team of writers that produce content. And, for a wide variety of niches, this is how I made my play. So, I replaced my income about a year and a half ago. So, if you think about that, I'm a senior commissioned officer in the Army. Military pay, I managed to replace it, and all of it's come from learning how to use it. And I'm not standing on a pedestal or essentially selling a product. It's just people actually want to read.
That's impressive, my man. That's impressive. Troy.
Yeah, sorry about that. So we asked Curtis. So you've taken that. You kind of learned how to take that what you learned from the internet and what you've done from your own experiences, and you built on that. So is that kind of the goal behind Mountain Things that you all your efforts together to just kind of teach other people, or what's kind of the scope behind that?
So, I can say that's one of the areas I made a mistake. I made two focus on entrepreneurship. How to take an existing brand and have other people replicate it. That's why I turned to some of the bigger players in our industry, Front Style, Sport Empire, Riveter, Bottle Breacher. I turned to those guys because they have successful e-commerce platforms that they managed to do great things with. So I turned to them but neglected those other individuals who produce fantastic content to spread the military message. So I made a mistake in that regard. And of course, I'm doing what I can to correct it. But it's one of those lessons learned. In 2018, when we moved the event to location, I want to make sure that I'm talking about a couple of major topics. Entrepreneurship, because that's near and dear to my heart, considering transitioning and struggles that I faced. Trying to become better at this. I can make money, but I don't know what to do with the money, meaning that I don't know what I should do in order to continue growing my business model. So there's things that I need to learn. Transition is near to my heart. And at the same time, I also want to talk about those major topics that are affecting our community that we need to bring attention to, whether it's PTS, whether it's suicide. I think this is an opportunity for us to talk about fun and leverage influence to continue spreading that message.
Hey, so Curtis, you just mentioned that there's some folks out there creating content that are really impressive to you. Do you mind sharing who you like to, who you enjoy following, who you think some of these influencers are, if they're not part of your event? Yeah, I mean, I'm just, our audience, they are always looking for, different places to find information, or maybe they're already familiar. But it's always fun to see, like, I know who I like. Nick Ponsano just put out a really great video today, kind of talking about the veteran business industry and community and how it, like, supports itself for the most part, but sometimes it forgets that, and, like, tigers eat its own. But I mean, he's a guy that I watch. Obviously, Tim Kennedy, Colton. Listening. Yeah, no, I'm dancing to the mariachi behind you. But
I'm sorry, man.
No worries, brother. But who are some of the guys that you really admire and follow online?
So you just mentioned a couple. But in addition to that, you have Matt Best, who's doing fantastic things, whether you call it funny, or if you look at the underlying messages that his videos and his content portrays. There's a series on everything that gets out. And a lot of people overlook it because it's funny. But when you get into it, there's a hidden message there that a lot of people can benefit from if they pay attention. Paul Woodruff, yes, he's part of the event, but talk about a guy that can have the news and flip something to make it funny, but at the same time still touch on what's most relevant. It doesn't get any better than that. And this guy, he's a Marine, and we all got these feelings about Marines, but he's done fantastic things with the voice and audience. Yeah, And whether it's his writing for Business Journal, how he continues to advocate using its platform, or reporting changing things going on with the community. So, for those who have been going on for the sake of time, man, it's just like there's so many that are often overlooked because they're not monetizing what they're doing. If they still platform and make money from it, yeah, more people may pay attention. It would increase their reach, but at the same time, there's a ton of people, doing fantastic things.
The good news for you is that you have people that be influenced year after year after year.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see how it plays out, anytime you do something new and different, there's challenges associated with it. But, in the long run, I think there's a lot of opportunity here. Not only, just me as a business model, but the benefit from this doesn't come from the conference. It comes from bringing the influencers together. And that's my long game in this regard.
Well, we appreciate it. Go ahead.
Good thing, when you look back at, military, kind of related guys that put out funny videos, I think most would agree that Ranger was probably one of the first ones did, way back when. And then, the next one that really kind of came up probably was Matt Bass that really got to, of course, but then you get into some of the newer ones like Combat Veteran and Johnny O'Malley, who can now put together a whole network TV channel, Bet TV. And that's kind of what your thoughts are on that. I mean, at the same time, O'Malley puts out some pretty crude military humor stuff that probably only the military would laugh at, much less not cringe at. But at the same time, he also hits on some very hot topics that are affecting our military in bad ways today. He's kind of above and beyond what Matt Bass does. What are your thoughts on that? The guy together a whole network.
Well, first off, I want to applaud him as an entrepreneur and his long-term vision in order to execute. His content, it's his content. He's identified who his audience is, and he's created his platform to support that audience. That's what all of us should try to do. We should be able to use our voice to reach our audience, whoever that may be, and that's going to be different from every single person. All I can say is I wish I was a more public person so I could try to replicate what he's done. But at the end of the day, man, that guy's a genius, and I'm pretty sure in years to come he's going to be somebody that we continue to read about and we continue to learn from. Yeah. One more time?
Well, I think Troy's struggling there, but Curtis...
is it
Troy, one more time.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Sorry. I'm saying I hope that I do this event next year in the following years. That those other guys are ones that you'll bring in. But I want to spin back real quick about something. You mentioned about mistakes you made and something we've done a little bit different as far as the focus. I kind of was lost. And are you saying that you felt that when you first started out with this that you were too broad and you wish you would have narrowed down your topics that you focused on? Is that what you felt like the mistake was?
No, I'm saying that my mistake is that primarily I'm looking at content as a way to profit from it. That was my initial focus. But what I did by that is not only did I sort of isolate a lot of people who have a major voice within the community, that was a mistake on my part. So actually, when I started this, my main topic was too narrow. I'm all about content for profit. I'm not talking about content for change. And, moving forward, that's a direction that I'm sure that we make adjustments for. So, even if you shifted some of the people in their topics, so they can talk about how their platforms is benefiting the community and not necessarily their overall pockets.
Yeah, I would agree. You and I have been talking about this for a little while, that probably did, I would agree, probably alienate some of the folks in the community. I think a lot more read that,
but I can say this. I'm new with this. This isn't my profession. I had an idea, I ran with it, and I executed it within my means. All I can say is that we learn from our mistakes and we move forward. No different than any other service member that has made a mistake in the past. We all hope and learn from those mistakes and transition to something bigger. That's the direction I'm headed down.
Hey, for those in the military, we'll get it, but essentially you AR yourself in the middle of the operation.
There is,
Yeah, you read two objectives, you change your maneuver elements, and you realize battle space is changing without the motion in order.
That's the perfect way of saying it. You make you actually know where goes somewhere.
Well, all right, Chris. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to work through the technical difficulties in the beginning. Hang in and come on the air with us. Again, all the information about the influencers can be found at www.moblog.com. You can follow Curtis at Curtis Riggs on Twitter. And, you know, like you said earlier, there's still space available. Contact them and you know, reach out directly, and they'll try to get you in. Still 20 spots available. Don't get take a shot. You know, if you need to be there and you have value, they'll help you out. Again, guys, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Once again, apologies for the restart, and we'll go from there.
No worries, my man. No worries.
Okay, thank you, guys. Enjoy your evening.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, bud. You have a good night. All right.
So, man, I just had to jump on the podcast.
You still there?
You may have to drop him, Toby.
I did drop him. He's at the middle of the park. I love it. Guys, like, I got time for this. I mariachi bounty down the road. The guy's in the dream, man. I love it. Good stuff.
Well, and it shows how this guy, right? He want to be hanging out down. And his passion is that he's willing to step with it as best he can, right, to get on the show. So that's what he goes in.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. And you know, like, I'm happy that he's able to come on and tell us a little bit about what he's got going on. It's exciting. I'm going to try to make it to the event myself. If I can, with all the changes going on, then I'll just shifting things around. I'm sure I'll be able to make it, but I hope I can. So, man, big day today. Lots of things happen. Lots to talk about. I guess we can start off with the UN.
What's that?
I said lots of things happening today. You know, Trump made a speech at the UN at the General Assembly. Were you able to see that?
No, I was in what's known as a skiff. Means I was in a black hole and not connected to the world today. I'm literally talking to you right now from the 495, which is known as the Beltway around Washington, D.C. So I am down in the president's backyard, literally by the National Military Medical Center as I speak. So, no, I wasn't after it. I'm looking at tonight. Is there anything you want to talk to? I'm sure it was a phenomenal speech, and I'm sure there's a lot of buzz on it.
Well, you know, it actually was pretty good. You know, there's plenty of things to criticize. You're on either side, and there's plenty of things to applaud. He didn't back down. It was kind of fun. But he reminded the world that America was created, and he read, you know, the Constitution and explained to the world that, you know, we're a country by the people, and you know, the purpose of us being a free state and being members of the UN, which are free states, so that the betterment of human. And he said that, you know, America should be our first concern. Their country be their concern. In fact, pretty strong, pretty good. Leaders letting you out.